せいでも
生きてんだから無限にあんだろ。
兄貴。
Ladies and gentlemen, this right here is a face of someone that's weaker than base form Luffy. I'm gonna skip all the introductions and just get straight into the meat and potatoes. But before I start, if you guys enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, plus only if you enjoyed the video. Anyway, let's get into the scaling. Now to scale base from Luffy, we must take a look at 1037, and I think we will be on 1037 for a lot of this video. Well, for the parts that include Luffy at least. I think at this point, everybody is very familiar with the "I wonder how long it's been since someone's gone toe-to-toe with me" statement. Now, I know a lot of fans do not like this since it basically says that base form Luffy is above Big Mom. But, I mean, there are a few ways you can get around this statement. You could say that Kaido views Big Mom as a sister, so he doesn't really think of her as an opponent. But then again, that's like a very flimsy way to get around it. But I'm not gonna push that agenda on Big Mom now, I don't really care. But if you use this to say that base form Luffy is above Big Mom, then sure, go ahead, I don't really care. But with this statement, we can at least say ever since Oden, Kaido probably hasn't fought someone at Luffy's caliber, or base Luffy's caliber, I should say. Now with this statement, it does affect 3 characters. Big Mom, as I've mentioned, Yamato, and Shanks. The reason this affects Yamato is because Yamato has been fighting him since she was a kid. And Shanks because he did pull up on Kaido and they did have a skirmish, as the Marines say. But this is why I don't really use this statement that much, and I only use it to annoy people. It's because all 3 people have a reason to get out of this statement. Big Mom, as I've mentioned, being a big sister to Kaido, Yamato literally being his child, and Shanks is very self-explanatory. I do not need to explain why Shanks is clearly on Kaido's level or maybe even above. Now I know you're thinking, why did I bring up the statement? Because number 1, a lot of people do love to use it. And number 2, it actually does affect Yamato. I know I just gave you like a whole 10-second breakdown on why Yamato could not be affected, but the statement Luffy gives after actually does put her in a very bad predicament. Now in 1037, we do see Luffy go back and forth as shown here. Key thing to add here is that this is the exact same Kaido that fought Yamato. But as Luffy is fighting that exact same Kaido, this is what happens. Now, if you couldn't hear that, you can read it right here. Luffy states that Kaido's haki is getting stronger. Now, I know a lot of people used to say that this is Kaido actually growing in the battle, which means that he got stronger from this point. After looking at it from different angles, you're actually able to come to a conclusion that Kaido was just releasing more of his haki, or was actually just starting to use his full power after this. Because if you look at the statement prior, Kaido says, "How long has it been since someone's gone toe-to-toe with me?" Which means nobody has gotten to the point where Kaido has forced himself to actually use his full power, or release more haki than he should have to. It's not really an anti-feat for anybody prior to this, since fighting Kaido anyway is a feat within itself. So yes, that does mean everybody that fought Kaido prior to that statement was fighting a suppressed Kaido. But as I've just said, it's not an anti-feat. I mean, that's unless you think that base form Luffy is on hybrid ACOC Kaido's level. And if you think that, then I mean, okay, sure. I'm a Luffy glazer, so I'll happily take that. But now that we've gone over 1037, let's actually put Luffy on the totem pole and let's see where he scales to. Or I should say what character he scales to at bare minimum. So we do know that base Luffy is at least equal or just above suppressed Kaido. We know this, why? Because Kaido was forced to use more haki. And after that, we do see base Luffy start to box with a more amped up Kaido. As I said before, he was forced to use Gear 4, which does mean he is below that amped up Kaido. Now, if we want to grade Luffy, all we need to see is who was boxing with that suppressed Kaido. Hey, look, listen, this isn't a base Luffy versus Yamato video. This is just where base Luffy scales. But if you do want a base Luffy versus Yamato video, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. Also comment. To conclude this base Luffy scale, you know that Luffy is above suppressed Kaido, which means he should be above Yamato and everybody else he fought prior. And that does mean Luffy should be above a lot of commanders, if not all of them. Even his right hand man. Hey, look at this. I'm just a messenger. I'm just a messenger, alright? If you guys want a video on that, you know what to do. Also, it's very important to add that this base Luffy is actually stronger now. Obviously, due to him resting and him getting a B-Tech Zenkai boost, but also because he utilized Haki the whole entire fight, which does mean it does give him an all-around buff. As stated by Rayleigh right here, since Kaido was such a tough opponent, I do think that a Luffy is actually touching Admiral level in his base. The difference between base Luffy and Gear 5 Luffy is unquantifiable, so I won't say where it is, but we do know once you reach that top level, you are able to just paralyze an Admiral just by flexing your Haki. From miles away, man. And again, I don't like to generalize Admiral since Green Ball is kind of a bum Admiral, and then we have people like Kizaru who I do believe can box with Gear 4 Luffy. I'm not saying Gear 5 because Gear 5, that's safe for like people like Mihawk, Shanks, and the rest. But yeah, it's the end of the video, so see ya.
Made you look like a snack, right?
Oh shit, a stimmy snack.
Stimmy.